to The Leverage, the podcast where we are committed to creating and building community wealth through the power of community. See, when we share resources, ideas, and collaborate on strategic investments and opportunities, not only do we individually gain financial independence, but as a community, we start to create wealth. And what does that mean? And that is the mission of the Next 400. And this is why we're here today to talk about the mission and the vision of Next 400 that's being enlightened, empowered by the Levrage Podcast. I'm your host, Kweku Q, and let's jump right into it. See, in this podcast, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to share with you my ideas, my vision. It's not all about me, my camera, my doors. This podcast is open to all of us because we have one goal in common, is to create community wealth so that the wealth can go around for generations to come. Fun fact of the day. I'm going to share something with you right here from the Federal Reserve's 2019 survey of consumer finances. Well, did you know that as of 2019, the median net worth of black families was about 24,100 compared to 189,100 for white families, highlighting the ongoing wealth gap rooted in historical injustices. Now, let that sink in for a second. 24,100 median net worth versus 189,100. Now, if this is accurate, then we have a lot of work to do. And this is why we're here, so we can open the lines of conversation, share resources, collaborate on strategic investment projects, so that at the end of the day, not only in this generation, we would have created something that the next and future generations can benefit from. So without much delay, I'm going to jump right into the mission and vision of Next 400. So I created Next 400 Bound because I thought of a journey, right? In the year 2019, we all celebrated 400 years since the first slaves arrived in Jamestown, Virginia. And it was a remarkable experience because we, all over the globe, got the chance, due to the fact that we have internet and access to global information, got the chance to know a little bit more about the history of slave trade and the impact it's had on black people, because black people were sold for economic gain. So then I was sitting in my house during COVID, and I was thinking about how much we had accomplished as a race, considering what happened 400 years ago. And it dawned on me that, wow, it's great. We even had the first black president of the United States of America. Can you believe that? I almost said United States of Africa. I didn't, mean to say that yet, but United States of America, right? So while sitting there and thinking, I said to myself, well, what would it be like 400 years from now if I look around and I see all the accomplishments that we've made across the globe? I thought of where our weaknesses were, so that we can take advantage of becoming aware of it and create opportunities to eliminate those weaknesses as much as we can. And I saw that we are great at galvanizing culturally. We can come together and have a great time. We can come together and have a cultural event, a festival. We can come together and fight for justice. However, one area that I saw that we were lacking was we barely come together for the purpose of economic gain as well, right? For financial freedom. So let me take it back a second. coming to the United States at the age of 15, from Ghana, West Africa. By the way, I was born in New York, United States, while my father was studying at NYU back in the 70s, right? So they moved back home, and I came back to the United States at the age of 15, going on 16. And when I think of my experiences then coming to the United States and being very young and vibrant and having all these entrepreneurial ideas and thoughts and not having a place to go to as a community to share my ideas, and even if even if there were, maybe say church or whatever, everybody lacked resources, and it almost seemed as if everybody had an agenda to free themselves from their own financial perils. So, for example, over time, I've come to see that we are great at being individual financial growth seekers. We tend to focus in on me, 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 me. Let me see how much I can get, how much I can gain for myself and my family. And once I get out of this situation, get out of this hood, get out of this country, get out of this neighborhood, then I'm good. I'll build the walls around my family and my house, and everybody to each his own. However, over a long period of time, it doesn't serve a community a purpose for us operating in this manner. And so my vision for the next 400 years is that we can spearhead financial freedom, creating wealthy and wealth opportunities all across the globe by coming together or forming this community where we can share resources, we can share ideas, we can bring to the table intellectual capital, we can galvanize on projects, we can do joint ventures, partnership, alliances, so that the economic force that drives wealth and success revolves slowly within the community. So I've heard of let's buy black or support black businesses. That is a very great concept and a great idea. However, I'll give you a scenario. So if I supported this black business, and we all in the community support this black business because it's a black owned business, but the owner supply chain is coming from outside the community, coming from everywhere else but a black operator supply chain, we are actually indirectly supporting other communities. Now, let's get this straight. My mission is not to say that for the next 400 movement, we're everything is black, because that would possibly make no sense, right? What this means that yes, we are to integrate with the world at large, with all communities, all races, and do business because it's just the way life is meant to be, right? However, we also want to be at the leveraging position where we get to control a major piece of the action within our community so that it doesn't pass us by all the time. We shouldn't be in a position where we are 24,100 median net worth versus 189,000 median net worth. It means that we're not moving collectively. So let's dig in a little bit more. So here's the big picture for the next 400. Community wealth building. Now let's start with community. Community means that you're welcome to join the community, be a part of it, and learn from experts in different industries. You're welcome to join the community and bring your ideas to the table. You're welcome to join the community just to empower others. And you're welcome to join the community to collaborate on strategic investment, to invest, to build wealth, right? Now let's talk about how do we get to where we want to get to. We want to get to this wealth by transforming our individual ambition to collective prosperity. And what does that mean again? Once again, the idea of the me, I'm just gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that, I'm gonna keep it to myself, I'm gonna, it's cost us a lot, right? So some of the things that I couldn't do when I was 15, 16, and I had to strive, and I continuously see people striving to just even get their business off the ground. And I'm thinking to myself, if we had a collective system, whereas, for example, 10 of us got together and bought a building, a property. Let's use real estate, for example. 10 of us bought a $5 million property. We shared in our resources. It becomes easier for us to achieve that. Within the community, we assign a property manager who's part of the community to manage the property. Within the community, we assign an accountant who manages the financial aspects of the of the joint venture or partnership. Within the community, we have lawyers and attorneys who manage or mitigate the risk, the legal aspects of things. Within the community, we also have business strategic consultants who come with ideas to go from this one big $5 million project to a $10 million project. Within this community, you have folks like myself who have connections to Africa that can open doors to making successful and strategic investments on the continent. That's where we're going. I do want to emphasize this. The mission is very clear that we shift or transform from our individual ambitions to collective prosperity. Always remember, 0 + 0 is 0. So you and I come together, we are stronger. There's power in numbers, and this is the mission of the next 400. So at the end of the day, I want to see this community create millionaires who in turn empower others to become millionaires so that generations to come, when a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old child like myself, with all his drive, working 2 jobs, trying to make my dreams come true, comes to this place with a brilliant idea, they can take that idea on paper, on a business plan, and know that if they go to this place, they're going to be favored. They're not going to meet obstacles. They're going to be favored so that they can see their dreams come true. And in order for this to happen for the next generation, we have to start putting these structures and collective prosperity mentality into place. And that's the mission of the next 400. Once again, it's not for everybody, but a word to the wise, if 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 you challenge me on this, I want you to come and do it, or come with a better idea of how we can do it. Now, I do know one of the major problems that we're going to face as a community, because I am part of the community. And that number one problem is trust. Trust is a major problem. I am not a psychologist. I can't talk about the psychological or sociological foundational things that have made us, or have given us this trust issue, because I do know that we barely trust each other. If I went to one of my brothers or sisters and I said, hey, you know what? I got this great opportunity, in, let's pick a state. In Indiana, let's roll out there and invest in something, I know you got the good credit, I got the money, or I got the good credit, you got the money. Let's collaborate and get this building. At first, the first thing they're gonna say is, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm with it. They're gonna go home. They're gonna go sit down. They're gonna go talk to family member, friend, and the family member, friend said, I don't trust that BS. I don't know. I don't know. I hear you. It sounds all good, but I don't know if it's gonna work though. I don't know. I won't do that. What he said again? Bring your credit. He's gonna get some money. Oh, it sounds too good to be true, and then it's not done. We barely trust each other to even do very simple things. So now, with this idea of collective wealth creation and collaborating with our resources and our investment ideas and opportunities, comes one of our biggest problems, which is trust in the community. I know this firsthand that we barely trust each other. I've been in scenarios where people say, hey, you know what, you want to get it done. You know what, I'd rather pay the white man to get it done properly. I mean, listen, I don't live my life that way. I pay for good service, but what I'm saying to you is we lack the basic trust of, for example, me coming to you saying, hey, listen, I got good credit. You have money. I see that you got some money. You just came into some money. You know what? Let's go to Ohio. Let's go to Indiana. Let's go wherever, and let's go invest in this real estate project. This opportunity I see. I don't have the money you do. I got the credit. Let's make it happen. You're like, word? I'm like, yeah, these are the numbers. This is what it looks like. It's going like this. Look at the real estate facts and trend in this area. Look at the graph. Look at the chart. It's growing by 10, 15% every year. And so basically, we should collaborate and make it happen. If I had the money, whatever. And then first thing they'll probably say is, yeah, let's do it, right? And then they're going to go home. They're going to talk to their wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, sister, brother, friend, homie, homegirl, whatever, and be like, um, what he say again? He got good credit. You got, oh, I don't know, man. This this sounds too good to be true. I don't know, man. He he's that's one of those. I can't trust that, man. I don't know, man. You better hold on to your money. And then the next thing you know is the person calls me back and says, you know what, I was thinking, man, I'm just gonna move in a new direction, right? Before you know it, that money's gone to waste. Nothing happened. And this is the fundamental root of some of the issues that we're dealing with in our community, not being able to trust each other. So how do we fix that problem? To me, is within the community, we're also going to have structures in place so that projects are monitored by experts. So for example, if we did go into the real estate project, we're going to bring lawyers and attorneys from within the community who can put together contracts and arrangements to make sure the deal is secured. We will also bring within the community accountants who can monitor the financial growth and tax implications and audit and stuff like that to make sure the business is moving smoothly in compliance. We will also have property managers who are part of the community to manage the property so that everybody within the community is doing what they're good at. So I don't expect that if somebody, for example, was a musician or an artist doing music, I don't expect them to spend even 10 hours a week trying to figure out or navigate how to do all this stuff on a real estate project. They should be in the studio recording. If somebody was a doctor and their contribution to this was to teach the community how to stay and remain healthy, that should be their focus. So everybody needs to focus in on what they do so that we can collectively collaborate to get to a successful place. So, in a nutshell, I'm going to read these notes that I have here because remember, I told you I'm going to keep it real, authentic throughout this process. See, when we come together to share resources and collaborate on strategic investments, we significantly reduce risk and increase the potential for success. By pooling our knowledge, capital, and opportunities, we create a powerful network where everyone benefits, not just me. Everyone benefits. It's about what transforming our individual ambition, me, into collective prosperity, us. ensuring that we all rise together. You might be asking yourselves, why this podcast? Well, I'm going to say inspiration and action. This is why, right? To inspire each other to take action so that we can continue to create this mental state of transforming ourselves from individual ambition to collective prosperity. And how do we do that? We're going to talk about how we can share our resources, how we can strategically invest, how we can collaborate on investment projects so that the end result will be that we're in this community where wealth is overflowing and empowering all of us. Also, it's an opportunity for us to stay informed, to stay tuned, because there's power in numbers, right? Collective strengths. What I am weak at, you might be strong at. And this is an opportunity for us to also talk to experts in different areas or industries. So in this podcast, we're going to be talking to, not necessarily interviewing, but having conversations with experts in different industries so that we can get insight on how to strategically propel ourselves to the next level. Now that we got the train rolling, let's take it to the bridge. Let's take it to why we are really here. This is why we're here, the bridge to Africa. My vision is to leverage the relationship between Africa, Africans, and African Americans, Black descents, diaspora, so that we can continue to do business on the international level, especially by investing in projects in Africa. Now, why Africa? By now, I believe that we do know that Africa is responsible for the majority of the Earth's natural resources, right? So, why invest in Africa and why should we collaborate? For centuries now, everybody else has been gaining economically from the natural resources in Africa, so why not us? And why wouldn't I be saying this when, Africa is a lower hanging fruit from me? I myself, I'm coming from Ghana, West Africa. I do notice that Ghana has gold, a major gold reserve, right? Ghana has cocoa, which is exported um, all over the world to the highest quality of cocoa that's exported all over the world. We have diamonds in Africa. We have oil in Africa. We have, let's not even start talking about agriculture. We need food to sustain. I'm talking about food to sustain. And there's also an opportunity to open the lines where the diaspora can connect with African Americans and connect with Africans so that we can visit Africa and plant our seeds on the ground, and leverage up and build businesses. Next thing you know, we're exporting cocoa. We have cocoa powder factories. We have shea butter factories. We have resorts and real estate projects, and we're exporting food, to the rest of the world, and we're making trillions and trillions of dollars. This is the bigger conversation. So let's get this clear. I'm not a seasoned podcast host. This is the first time I'm doing this. So my point is to get the message across, and I hope that you can connect with the message. So with that being said, I wrote some notes here, and I feel that if I read my notes to you, you'll feel it much, much better, right? So here we go. So connecting the African American population to Africa is essential for unlocking new pathways to wealth and opportunity. By bridging this gap, we tap into a continent rich in natural resources, innovation, and investment potential. For the diaspora, this connection isn't just about financial gain. It's about reclaiming the shared heritage and leveraging the vast opportunities in African markets. By partnering with African businesses and investing in sectors like agriculture, technology, infrastructure, we can create a powerful economic link that benefits both communities, which then fosters wealth creation and natural growth. So, at the end of the day, how beautiful would it be to be able to sit back and realize that you're investing into this continent where everybody else is making trillions of dollars, and now you're a part of it, and you're in the comfort of your own kind, and you're building connections, you're connecting with your heritage, your culture. All these things happening are happening simultaneously. And so this is the bigger picture. And remember that it's not going to be an easy journey, but it is a call to action. That if you like the ideas and the concept or the idea of community wealth creation, if you like what we've talked about, if you like the vision of Next 400, 400 years from now, I believe will be 2419, I believe, right? 2419. And our I won't be here. I'll be dead and gone. So would you be? That's 400 years, right? But our next generation has been empowered by this sense of community, that they're no longer have just their individual ambition, but they're thinking of collective prosperity, that they have better opportunities. Their ideas just turn into businesses, and the ideas become real. We have opportunities, and we're competing on the higher landscape of things. This is when we start by doing and taking action now. So, if you've been listening to me for the last 45 minutes, I thank you for being here. I thank you for giving me your time, because I am a respecter of time. If you like what you've heard, and let's do a quick recap. The mission and vision of the Levrage Podcast is to shed some light on the mission and vision of the Next 400. The Next 400's mission is to create a legacy of wealth and community. And how are we going to do that? We're going to build collective wealth through community power, right? And how do we continue to do that is through sharing our resources, sharing our ideas, coming up with strategic investment opportunities, both here in the United States and also eventually branching off into investing in places like Africa and Ghana is the lower hanging fruit for me. All this great stuff. If you like what you hearing, then do not hesitate and hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms at NEXT400 Bound. You are not going to regret this journey, because I strongly believe that in 2419, when our next generation are benefiting from some of this moves that we're about to make to create wealth within our generation, we'll be sitting back wherever, heaven, wherever out there, looking down and smiling at each other, that for once we did the right thing by not being selfish, but trusting each other and pushing each other, so we too can get out of a median net worth of 24,100 compared to a median net worth of 189,444 to becoming median net worth of 1 billion extra, 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 extra. So $1 billion, a billion mile journey starts with the first step. And the first step is a call to action, to get involved, to get engaged, to be a part of it. And I look forward to sharing with you interesting conversations with different people from different industries who are down with the idea of community wealth building. And thank you once again, and I'll see you on the next episode.